In this video, we're going to create our truck class, which also inherits from car. So let's go up to File, New File. It's going to be a Java class. It's going to be called Truck. Its superclass, we're going to use Vehicle for our superclass. So vehicle demo is our package that I have created here, .vehicle, and we'll hit finish. And notice it automatically puts the extends in for us. I'm gonna get rid of these extra comments up here I don't like. There's a way to shut that off, I just haven't done it. So it's telling us we don't have a constructor that's compatible with vehicle yet. That's okay. What are the fields we're going to use? So I'm going to do Alt Insert. We're going to do these properties. I use properties and fields interchangeably in Java because they are interchangeable terms. In other languages, they are not. A property is different in C#. It's different than a backing field. So be aware that that happens a lot for people. So we said we're going to keep track of whether it's four-wheel drive. So we have a four-wheel property that will be Boolean. We're going to generate getters and setters. I want to see how those come out name-wise. So we'll say OK. And they came out good because we picked Boolean. Our method is called isFourWheel instead of get four-wheel. For Boolean getters, we usually use is instead of get. And our set four-wheel is OK. And then we're going to insert another. Let's do it the manual way. And we'll do add a property. And this one will be whether it's diesel or not. So it's the field's going to be called diesel. And it's also going to be a Boolean. All right, that looks pretty good. Also, I'm going to go back there and leave that alone. If I go up to source and say format, it kind of fixes all my indents for me. That'll save you a lot of time if you get some things messed up and your indents are wrong. Source format cleans your code up very nicely. It's pretty intelligent. We're still missing a constructor. So let's do a constructor now that we have our fields in there. Alt insert a constructor. And I want my constructor to include whether it's four-wheel drive or diesel. But actually, four-wheel and diesel, by default, because they're Booleans, they will be set to false. So I want to create another constructor here. That if somebody wants to create a truck and not specify that it's four-wheel drive or diesel, because they're Booleans, their default values will be false in Java. So let's do another constructor. But this time I'm not going to set four-wheel and diesel. I'm just going to let it generate one that I only have to supply make, model, and mileage on. And if I run this constructor, by default, four-wheel and diesel will be false, if I remember properly. I do a lot of different languages as a teacher, so I believe the default value is false. We're going to find out in a minute. If I'm wrong, we'll set some default values. So I have my getters and setters for diesel and four-wheel. Let's create a toString down here. Alt insert, and I'm going to pick toString. We'll include four-wheel and Boolean. Let's generate it. And I'll just leave those for now. I'm not going to concatenate anything onto it from the parent class. We'll go with that for now. And let's go over to our vehicle demo and create a truck. I'm going to create a truck called my truck equals new truck. And I'm going to make another Chevy. Let's do a Silverado. With 135,465 miles on it. Okay. So I didn't do the constructor that had 5 options. And let's just print that. Information about my truck and see what happens. All right, so by default, I was correct. The Boolean values are false by default. So 4-wheel is false, diesel is false. And I can do the 3 constructor, or let's truck. Let's do another one. Another truck. New truck. And let's set true, true. Somebody's probably going to laugh at me if Silverados don't come in diesel. Pretty sure they come in 4-wheel drives. Oh, actually, let's not do a Silverado. Let's make it something different. Actually, we need to specify the make first. Let's do a Ford F-250. They probably come in diesel. $223,000 miles on it. A well-used truck. But it's diesel, so it should run forever, right? And then information about that truck. So in this one I called its constructor that has 3 arguments, and this one I called it with 5 arguments. And both of those should have created a valid truck. In this one, it's 4-wheel and diesel. It doesn't tell us the make and model information. We could concatenate those things on if we wanted to. So this idea that we have 2 different constructors in our truck class with the exact same names. This is called overloading. So we've overloaded this constructor method. 2 constructors, the exact same method name. How does Java know which one we want to run? Well, it compares the number of arguments and the type of arguments. So it's looking for the same type of arguments. So if it sees a Boolean followed by a string and an int, it knows that this is the constructor we're trying to run. If it only sees a string, and an int, it knows that we're trying to run these. Okay, that is method overloading. What we've done down here with our toString is that we've overridden our toString method. We overrode the toString from the object class. When we did vehicle, we overrode it. Okay, and when we did truck, inheriting from vehicle, we also overload it. So everything in Java inherits from the object class, and that's where toString comes from. Excuse me, it's down here. So toString originally comes from the object class, and all objects inherit from the object class. And that's where toString is. When we wrote vehicle, we overrode the toString method from the object class, which isn't really very good. It prints out the class name followed by an @ sign and a random number. It's not completely random, but for all intents and purposes it is. And then the truck class, we overrode the toString method again, right here. So that's method overriding. Method overriding means a subclass has a method signature that's identical to its parent class, and it takes precedence. It starts at the most specific class and it goes backwards until it finds a matching method. In this case, it found it in the truck class. That's overriding. Using the same name with different parameters is called overloading. So know the difference between overloading a method and overriding a method. Overloading happens within the same class, and the method that gets called is determined by the number and type of its parameters. Okay. Overriding is when a subclass overrides a method of the same name from its parent.